One of the main reasons why I became a journalist was to help people make sense of the world. But that mission is getting harder and harder. We have become really good at bringing you all the latest news, all in an instant. But we are not doing enough to give you the context you need to navigate this sea of information. Take, for example, the Syrian conflict. If you are a typical reader, you know what's been going on in the past couple of weeks and some basics. But what about the rest? Or what if you haven't been following the conflict and you want to do it now? Where will you start? To understand these complex topics, you need context. But that is something that you won't find easily in everyday news. That is going to change. Now, imagine if every time that you click on a story about Syria, you could find an embedded resource that will explain to you what's been going on so far and put everything else into context. Wouldn't that be extremely useful for your reading experience? Now, there is a way to provide that valuable service using a tool that all of you have known since you were 3 years old. Does anybody here know what I'm referring to? Yes, sir, you. You with the sign, yes. What is this resource? What am I talking about? Exactly. Animation brought stories to life when we were children, so vividly that we still remember them. Even if you didn't know how to read, you will still understand what was going on the screen. If that happened when we were kids, imagine how that storytelling power could do for our adult mind. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Here is a clip of an animation I created that explains the Syrian conflict.
The Syrian conflict in 5 minutes.
This is Bashar al-Assad, president of Syria. His father, Hafez, ruled for 30 years. As the weeks and months pass, the rebels have increased in numbers and weapons, but not enough to topple Assad.
This is just the beginning. The challenge now is to bring this resource to every newsroom. In order to do it, I created Animated Press, a news animation studio that will produce and distribute these videos. So far, the Syrian animation has been published in 3 countries and in 2 languages. Our next offering will take a look at the Greek crisis, and more are on the way. If you watch them, I guarantee that the next time that you read a story about Syria or any other topic that we feature, you will say to yourself, now I understand. At the end of this event, you will receive an email with a link to the full Syria animation. Watch it, share it on Facebook and Twitter, and help me bring the context back to our readers.